Good afternoon. It's Monica from Life is Art, and this is the 3:30 demo on Thursday at the Summer Vacation Road Trip Online Crop. I'm just pulling up my video as usual, and we are going to get started. We're going to work on a project today using a little bit different size format for creating a layout, and we're going to be doing a 6x8 layout. So if you have never tried that before, I really enjoy creating in the 6x8 size because if you're not feeling overly creative, you can fill up a lot of space with just a few simple things, and it looks amazing, and it gets your documenting done of the events that have been happening without having to feel like you need to create a large footprint of artwork. Okay, so if you have specific events that you want to document, here is an example of a 6x8 Picture My Life, Everyday Life album. So it's a nice size. It's easy to handle if you're creating for somebody who has mobility issues or is older or even younger. This is a nice size. Or if you want to create for just a specific event, it helps you to document a certain event without having to fill oodles of space. So if you have minimal photos, or if you have a lot of photos and you're going to dedicate the whole album just to one event, this is a great size to work with. It's also great for all those sort of Instagram kind of photos that are smaller. And, if you got to catch up on stuff and you just want to get some photos in a book, or you want to make it as a gift for somebody. I just recently did a whole 6x8 album for a friend who wanted to make something for her friend as a gift, and she sent me photos, and I did up the whole album for her, and it was great because it's like a photo album but with some of the creative bits that we like, plus places for journaling and all of those fun things. So we're going to work today with a 6x8 footprint. We're also going to be using the Beach Party scrapbooking stamp set, and it comes with thin cuts as well. So we're going to be using that. We're also going to be using the Beach Party Picture My Life cards. And I can't tell you how much I like Picture My Life cards. It amazes me the number of people who have never tried them, because I will not buy a kit from close to my heart without also buying the Picture My Life cards. You get two different sizes of cards. You get 4x6 and you get 3x4s, and they come with all different designs, and they're different on the front and the back. And so there's different colors, and there's also different orientation, so that you can get so many. There's a You're One in a Melon. There's journaling spots and really good icons. Things you can use as little titles, or just little things that you can tuck in around bigger ones. You can see here that I even cut my Picture My Life cards down. This one was one that had a summer bucket list. And so I've cut out the bucket list from this side, but I didn't cut up the whole thing because I can fussy cut out this and use it as an embellishment. And so if you have never taken a look at the Picture My Life cards, they are so much fun, and, lots of things that are in there. So you get 12 of each size, 4x6 and 3x4s. So we're going to be using some of those today, along with the stamp set. We're also going to be using some papers and stickers from Beach Party. And doesn't this just look like what we need for our crop? We've got our van all packed up and ready to go, hitting the road. So that's what we're also going to be working with. So let's get started. Hey Sue, nice to see you're watching. And Michelle is here too. Hello, hello. And okay, so we're going to start with one 6x8 page, and this is actually going to be our right-hand page for our layout. And so I've got a piece of the Capri. Ooh, I see a little runaway sequin on my Versamat. This is Capri, and I'm actually using the lighter side. So I've cut this at 6x8, and I'm just going to put that there on my Versamat. And then I've also cut out some other cardstocks. So this is a piece of sapphire that has been cut to 2 inches by 6 inches, and it's cut on the dark side. So we're getting our darkest color of sapphire. I'm going to go ahead and add some adhesive to the back of this. And I think I threw away my tool I was using to remove the backings with. So we'll see how well I do with just my fingers. And this one, I want to center it in the center of my paper. So I can line it up right here. I know I'm centered on the 6-inch mark, and I can just line that up from side to side. We're going to kind of make some color blocks. Then what I did was I took my Capri paper and I cut 2 1x6-inch strips that are cut from the dark side. So it's the same color as my base, but it's been cut from the dark side. So we're getting a gradation in color happening on our layout, which is really fun. Adds a nice little element. So I can go ahead and add those on as well. And these ones, I'm just going to tuck them right up beside the piece that I've already got on there. Just like that. And this one down here. Whoops. So in our 6x8 Everyday Life albums, we also sell the memory protectors for that footprint, that album size, and we sell different designs. So on my left page, this is going to be my right page, on my left page you're actually going to see something a little different. So on this side I'm going to have a full 6x8, and then on the left side something a little different, of course. And so now I'm bringing in a piece of the pattern paper from the beach party, and I've cut this to a 5x7. And this is super fun. I've actually got it upside down. It's super fun because it's like a top-down photo of a beach. And at first glance, you don't even notice that. You just think it's fun patterns. But we've got our beach umbrellas here, and our beach towels spread out on the beach, and there's pails and shovels and sunglasses and flip-flops and little crabs and seagulls and all sorts of things. Actually, I'm not sure if I had it upside down, but the little red buckets were upside down, so I switched it. The back side is this fun one here with all the swimmers in the water. And so I'm going to go and add this, and I'm just centering it right on my page. Now, thinking to yourself, you're probably thinking, if you're going to go and put that great big piece of paper on there, then why did you use strips that went all the way across? And that's a good question. You could certainly have just cut little pieces to tuck under the edge and avoided wasting the paper in the center. But I decided to make my life easy and just go ahead and do them straight across. If you're trying to reduce bulk in your album, then yes, definitely do that. Just put the little bits on the side. But anyway, there's our 5x7. And then I'm bringing in a photo. Pardon me. And so what I'm documenting on this layout is a trip to the cottage that my husband and 2 boys took in 2018. And so that we rented a cottage, and they were over there for 4 or 5 days. And then Julia and I went for 4 or 5 days. We were taking separate vacations because there's a big age gap between my boys and my daughter. And so, you know, the boys want to do big boy things and watch older age group kinds of movies. And yeah, So Julia and I went and we did more age appropriate things on our trip. So then I'm going to put a little bit of a matting on here because my photos kind of got a lot of colors and things happening, and the background has a lot of color and things. So by matting my photo, it kind of gives a little visual break from the busy background, and it kind of makes it stand out amongst the crowd of pattern. And that is a good thing to do. You always want to have a little visual break here and there when you're designing. Even for a small layout like this, it's almost more important to have the break on a small one. And so then I'm just going to go ahead and add this photo. Let me see, maybe about here. So it's a little bit higher up than the top strip. I'm just trying to get it centered from side to side if I can. There we go. A little bit taller than the top strip. And then we want to add a little bit of decoration down here. And for that, I'm going to go to my sticker sheet. Because you know what? Sometimes when we're crafting, we just want to get it done. We don't want to spend a lot of time fussing. And so that's one thing that I find that's very helpful with Picture My Life cards and our wonderful sticker sheets, is that you can just put it together and it's so simple. And it doesn't have to be a whole big to-do. I mean, we like the whole big to-do as well. Don't get me wrong. But sometimes you need to just do something that's a little bit less of a to-do. So I'm just going to go ahead and line this up right along the bottom of my photo mat. Maybe scooch it over just a little bit so it's in the center. There we go. And touching my photo mat a little bit. Like that. Vacay mode, because they were totally on vacation mode. We hadn't had a vacation in many years, and so this was much needed. So I'm also going to use this one that says just chillin'. Just chillin', because that's what they were doing. They were just spending the days chillin', doing whatever came into their heads. And so then let's move over to the other side. So I'm going to scooch this over, and now we're going to envision our left side over here. And I'm going to show you what I'm going to use for that side, because it's a little different. So this one's going to have a 6x8 memory protector. This side is going to be 6x8, but it's going to be broken up into 3x4s. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 3x4 sections. So keep that in mind as I'm creating. I'm not going to be tucking them into here as I'm doing it, but I'll do it at the end so you can see, just because of the shine and it gets irritating on the video. And we don't want that. So let's see. We're going to put a couple things that are just photos. So here's the guys, and sadly this was, I think, at the end of the vacation. And so they were loading it up our truck to come home and putting everything back in the truck. Or that could have been when they arrived. Not 100% sure. But I'm thinking it was on the way home. But I thought it was kind of good for our crop because we're talking about road trip, right? And so they had to travel to get there. And so that was the road trip. And you can see all the different cottages in the background. This was the deck from the cottage they were staying at. And so that's going to go in the upper right corner. And then, let me see if I can adjust my light just a smidge. So there's a little less glare maybe. That's a little less. Hey, Mom, nice to see you're watching. And then I've also got this one of the two boys standing in front of the door of the cottage. And look at, Justin was super happy to be on vacation. Joshua doesn't smile a lot in photos. So even though he was super happy to be on vacation, he doesn't look it in this one. And then I wanted to bring in a couple of Picture My Life cards. So it's interesting because you can just fill a pocket with a photo. You don't have to do anything extra to it. And so that makes this process fairly quick. So this is good for people who have limited space to craft too, because it doesn't take up a lot of room using the Picture My Life cards and things. And also people who have a little bit of time, right? Sometimes we're just in a hurry and we want to get it done. So I'm going to bring in this Picture My Life card here that says, remember this day, The banners are already done. There's no stamping. There's nothing that we had to do to this. It's already got some fun waves. This is one of the 3x4s, so it also has it in the horizontal orientation. But I'm going to go with the vertical because that's the kind of pocket I'm using. So that's going to go down there. And for that one, I have this photo of Joshua. He's, even though they were at a cottage that was right on Lake Ontario, he was the only one who actually went down by the water. They didn't even get in the water. They were just having too much fun relaxing in other ways. But my husband managed to snap this shot of him down by the water. I think he maybe had to ask Joshua to go and pose for that picture. And then I've got a piece of the candy apple red cardstock, and I've actually cut it so that I'm using the lighter side. This is the true color side, and this is the lighter side. So I'm going to go ahead and add my photo onto that photo mat, just like this. So if you're watching or watching later on replay, just say hello so I know you're here. But also let me know if you have done pocket scrapbooking before and if you've used the Picture My Life cards to do it. I'm always interested because I love using the Picture My Life cards. And I think it's kind of one of those things that people aren't really sure what to do with. Now, as I'm saying pocket scrapbooking, I use them most often for other things, frankly. I do less pocket scrapbooking with them than anything, but that's definitely something that they're very useful for. So then we can go ahead and add that on there. And look, that Picture My Life card created an already decorated frame for the photo. How fun is that? Then I grabbed another Picture My Life card. And I don't know about you guys, but my guys all like retro stuff. And I thought that this sort of tile work on this side, it definitely looks like the bottom of a pool, right? It has that feel of the tile in the pool. But on this side, it just sort of had more of a retro feel, but it ties in with the colors that are in the beach towels over here. It kind of picks up the beigey in the cottage and also the color in Joshua's shirt that he's wearing there. So I thought that was kind of nice to bring that in and kind of tie all those things together. But then I kind of want another little bit of a title for, I have vacation mode happening over here. Pardon me. But I thought I would bring in from the stamp set and thin cuts. I've cut this thin cut out. Let me just show you the thin cuts. They're all kind of wonky right now because I've been digging through them. The thin cuts for this stamp set. That one's just sitting on top. So I use this one, and you get 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 thin cuts, and they all relate to all of these stamps. And the only stamp that's not got a thin cut is just these little tiles, which are very similar to this, right? But you stamp them yourself. So if this is not the color you want, you can go ahead and stamp your own. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp out this one that says Summer Fun. So let me just get that off the carrier sheet. Summer Fun. When I take my stamps off the carrier sheet, I like to walk my fingers along underneath the acrylic stamp, just so it gets removed nicely. And then I lay it down and I pick it up with my block. I've used it before, but of course you can season your stamp anytime you want to, especially if it's been freshly washed or something. And then I've got my sapphire stamp set, or stamp pad, and that's the color that we used in the background here. So I thought it would be nice to pull that color over here and stamp the word Summer Fun using the sapphire. And I've got one Versamat right side up and one Versamat on the reverse side. That's why it's called a Versamat. And I can just go ahead and stamp on there because that is a super good stamping surface. I'm just going to give it a moment for that ink to transfer to the cardstock. And there we go. Summer Fun. And that looks great the way it is, just on there like that. But I thought I would jazz it up a little bit, and I wanted to pick up on the green. We've got a little bit of green here, and there's green in the grass and the trees. So I thought, let's bring some green over here and kind of freshen this up. So I've cut from the back side of the clover cardstock, and I've just used the same thin cut. And I cut it out again. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach this one on top, but off at a little bit of an angle. So I'm going to create a bit of a drop shadow. And I think I will even just go ahead and use my liquid glue for this. So because I'm dropping the shadow, I know that I can put glue at the top of the words like that. And that is probably good enough. And then just go ahead and stick that down like so. And then maybe we'll even use some foam dots. Let's grab our little foam dots and our little piercing tool so we can lift those foam dots. Easy peasy. I just scooch underneath them and plop them on there. These are the thin 3D foam dots. And we'll just stick them on here. I like using the thin ones and the thin foam tape just because it's less bulk, but it does create dimension. And one more down there, and that's good. And then we can attach that to our Picture My Life card. All the little backings all staticking together. There we go. I'm just checking the comments because I see. Oh, yes, Michelle, you have your album kit that you won. Yes, you need to do that. Absolutely. Okay, I was just reading what Sue was saying. She's not sure if it's her thing. And you know what? It might not be your thing. You know what? Sometimes we just like what we like, and that's okay. Oh, yeah. You definitely want to get rid of those old sticky albums. The albums that have the sticky sheets, and they're not the greatest. They damage your photos. Okay, so here is our memory protector. And we've got the rings on this side because we're doing the left side page. And then you just feel the openings are actually on the other side. So all you have to do is take your Picture My Life card and just slide it in the pocket, just like you would on an old photo album that has pockets. You just slide your photos and your things in. There we go. I love the feel of our memory protectors. They are so much thicker and nicer than regular ones. Love them. I even use the bigger ones. I cut them apart and use them in place of acetate in shakers. It's very economical to use a great big page protector and use it for oodles of shaker elements. My brain was shutting down there for a second. So there we go. That is our 2-page layout done lickety split using the Picture My Life cards and some photos and some pockets. How cool is that? And so you can see how you can add different things on here. You can even add flip-flaps to extend this. If you have the, the 6x8 page protectors, you can even take, instead of just having this size of cardstock, you can do a 12x8 and fold it in half and have half of it sticking out as an extra flap. That is a super fun way of adding extra photos onto your page, but definitely flip-flaps. I love that you can use cardstocks on this and your pattern papers and adding nice stickers just to add a little bit to it. Now, I haven't added any bling to this layout, and I'm going to leave it that way because, it's the guys. They're on vacation. They don't really need any bling. But I love this idea of using the thin cuts to create a second layer of the thin cut and then having it as the drop shadow for your title. Isn't that really cool? I love that. It kind of plays into that retro feel that was happening up here. So I hope you guys enjoyed that demonstration and have a wonderful rest of the afternoon. We'll be back on this evening for our chat and crafts starting at 7 o'clock. Hope to see you then. And we'll also be posting another game at 6 o'clock and some stuff in between. And we're going to be learning about some amusement parks. All right. Toodaloo. Have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.